My last stop in Oklahoma, at least for now. I do need to come back at some point, but until then, let's have a look at Muskoge's Arrowhead Mall. And boy, is this a dead mall. But it seems to be one that refuses to quit, as it's apparently still open today. Arrowhead Mall would have been in planning stages as far back as 1979, tied up in red tape and negotiations. And at the beginning of 1987, construction would begin, originally built with intent to revitalize downtown Muskogee and retain shoppers who might normally travel to Tulsa or Fort Smith. The $50 million mall would officially open in September 1987. I want to say that it was September 10th, but I have no definitive proof of the day. Developed by Warmack and Company, original anchors would include Sears, JCPenney, and Dillard's, with Stage arriving later on alongside a movie theater. Apparently, if the papers were anything to go by, the mall was off to a slow start, struggling to fill its interior space with tenants, starting out with only 30% of the space leased, but managing to get its occupancy rate up to 50% just a year later, and there was talks about getting a new anchor as well as a movie theater. Between that and many a community event being hosted at the mall, the occupancy issue would eventually be addressed, with a 2003 article reporting that the mall had seen 91% occupancy. Even got a hold of some big names by the 2000s. Enter 2005, and things would unfortunately get muddy between spotty newspaper archives and the degradation of early internet. What we do know is that J. Herzog and Sons Incorporated bought the mall off of Warmack and Company, and Herzog would hang on to the mall until 2016. And in 2010, a mall shooting reportedly tied to gang-related activity would break out, resulting in the death of one and injury to 5 others. Not a very good look for the mall, but hey, one shooting doesn't kill a mall. Right? As the mall went into the 2010s, Herzog did carry out a minor renovation to the mall in 2014, bringing in more seating in the food court and adding new amenities like free Wi-Fi. They even attracted a Justice store. But on the other side of the coin, Sears would close its doors for the last time in November of that year, and this marks the beginning of the fall. Occupancy began to fall off, and while it would take a few years, the other anchors would begin to follow Sears out the door, with Dillard's taking off in May 2019, Stage in August 2020, and JCPenney in October 2020. In 2018, the mall would be sold out of receivership to an unknown company based out of Fort Worth, Texas. Wikipedia says Property Managers LLC, very unique name, and while they do have a source listed for that, I can't exactly confirm it since the source is paywalled, so take that with a grain of salt. If anyone would like to assist in painting this picture and filling in the gaps, do so in the comments below. Best I can tell, while Muskogee remains as an industrial town and a historical center for Native American culture, the town itself has seen better days. You know the story. Employment opportunities are not great and they're limited, and those with money are either staying at home and living online, or if they do go out, it's to the local Walmart or to Tulsa. For those who have been keeping up with the channel, it's a story all too common. At least the main core of downtown Muskogee is still intact after mall construction. No anchors, less than a handful of stores, no theater, and it appears that the Subway and pizza partnership is no longer there since I've visited. And while it appears that the mall will remain, it's moving over to alternative use, between Sears being filled in by a US Postal Service circa 2019, and a federal contract being awarded in 2021 to lease office space. Frankly, I'm surprised it's still open. Apparently Juice Express is still pretty good. While many other aspects of this particular thing starts to fatigue me, wandering these hallways still brings out the intrigue, the imagination, and the nostalgia. I grew up around the very end of mall culture being the main thing, and say what you want, but I miss those days. Sure, everything being online is convenient, but at the end of the day, I still like to go outside. Sometimes to the mall, sometimes elsewhere. So while there's no real stores to speak of anymore, even a mall like this will still bring a sort of comfort and leisure that Amazon, and even VR, will never replicate for me. I do have one story to share. Don't worry, it's a good one. I often wear shirts with designs on them, and that day, I was wearing a shirt of Bob Ross painting the universe. Well, the old cleaning lady really loved that shirt and had always wanted to take up painting. I opted to be a little more encouraging on this, suggesting that she keep an eye out for the starter kits and a sturdy easel. It's expensive, yes, but at the same time, the option is always there if you have the space for it. And speaking of cleaning, this is one of the cleaner dead malls I have been in. I hope she is, or was, at least being paid well. And with all that in mind, it's just about time to go. Wonder if that restaurant used to be a Chi-Chi's. Until next time, Muskogee and Oklahoma, this is Doomie Grunt wishing you and the Arrowhead Mall farewell and good luck in the future, whatever it holds.